Go, catch the squirrel, go. Did you see so many squirrels? Bless you.
Quit jumping, that's why you fell now. Come on then, get us quick.
Charlie.
Ow, my leg.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
Don't tell me. Come on,
Go then, Chica. Ow. That way.
Dupta. Oh no. Really? Really castle banaya. Let's go. Let's see a castle. Really castle banaya. Look.
First of all, it was already big, but I made the rest.
Okay.
Look, Mom, I need to wash my hands.
Okay. Wait, where is your castle? What? Is this a castle? How do you see a castle?
I'm making it still, that's why.
Oh, you're still making it? Okay.
I promise I won't have a flag because
Okay.
there's no need.
Mama is going round and round.
Dad,
Huh.
this is a big hole I digged.
Oh no.
See that big hole?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's already so deep.
Mm-hmm. She's looking her mama. Look. Trying to find her mama.
Daddy, that man has the same glasses you
Yeah.
have. And he has the same cat you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Oh, you just confused?
I can get up. Okay, guys. Can we all stand up? Okay, you want to stand or be in a photo? You want to stand?
Down. This way.
That's why you gotta listen to mommy. Come on. Oh, no, babe.
Oh no. Oh no. What you just did, Joy?
Look at those floating. floaties. They have so many wrestling things.
Uh-huh.
Wrestling things.
I think they brought it by themselves.
How do you know?
Well, that's the different one. Okay, Joy, hold on, I'll help you, hold on. It's all right. Abhi, you want this? Mama round गर्नुको फेरि एक राउन्ड गर्नुको बगाइ थियो ममालाई ऊ त्यहाँ तल आउँछ What are you doing, Eva? Oh my goodness, look, Eva did that. She's trying to be a mermaid, look. You want to go and see the mermaid, Didi? You want to go and see the mermaid, Didi? Oh, भित्र त्यो फेरि भित्र
What is that you say, Zane? Zane, don't touch me, please. Oh, everyone up there. Come on, let's go.
Joey, don't go close.
What is that?
It's sleeping. That lizard is sleeping, you see.
Get
Don't go close. It's danger, okay?
Get on.
Joey, come on. Wow, चिराइदियो तेरो मामाले ल एकैचोटि चिराइदियो ल यहाँ छिराउ ल अर्को ल जोइ चिराइदियो जोइ सरी रे you don't want to hit the ball ल पट गर्न है पट ल कमन त्यहाँ पट गर ल त्यो गोल गर ल एबाले हानेको एबाक पाला अब वाह ल एबाक पाला ल खै ल एबा ल पट गर पट त्यही छ रेस्टुरेन्ट त्यही छ ल गर ओ नो ओ नो मलाई ल्याइदिउँ गाडीबाट Lizard says hi.
I want to say hi.
You want to say hi to Lizard?
Hi, Lizard.
Oh my goodness, you see? So it's scary, right? Are you scared? Koi khutta jasko, look.
1, 2, 3, 4 sides.
4 khuttas are, look.
4 kutas.
Lizard got the 4 legs. See? Wow. Look, Eva's favorite pink color, right, Eva? Are you happy? Look, your dress is pink. Your boat is pink. Joyलाई थाहा रहेछ कुन चाहिँ कलर भनेर जोइ कुन कलर जोइ हो कुन कलर यो ये you got it. Hello. जान्छ जोइ त्यो बसौँ न
All right.
ओ
Can you hear me okay?
ल ओके गर ओके
All
गरिदियो
right, let's do it.
ओके गऱ्यो जोइ
My name's Haley. I'm going to be your captain tonight. Just a few rules before we get to the fun stuff here. Please remain seated
Yeah.
for the entire ride.
Ah, you
the
got
whole
to.
time. Please don't stand up. If you brought it with you and
Ito.
you want to take it home, keep it inside the rails, arms, hands, cell phones, kids. You get it. There is no smoking or vaping on my boat or on the Riverwalk. That's not my rule. That's SAPD. If they catch you,
लुक बिल्डिङ हेर्दै
it's a $300 fine. And last but not least, if this boat sinks, not to worry. I have brand new life jackets for each and every one of you. It's right here on either side of my helm, on the deck, under these hatches.
यो उता हेर
If we find ourselves in the water, feel free to put on a life jacket and stand up and walk out. This little river is only about 3 to 5 feet deep. If you're under 5 feet, you might have to swim a little bit.
ब्रिज हेर
All right, that's all the rules. Let's get going.
वा luk
Here we're pulling
Rainbow
into
color,
La
look, look.
Villita, these little village in Spanish, of course. This was the first
color,
neighborhood in
look, look.
San Antonio. You can see it up here on the left on street level.
ट्रीमा हेर उता
Now, those houses there were built in the 1800s by German immigrants.
वाउ
But this neighborhood was settled in 1722 by the soldiers stationed at the Mission San Antonio de Valero, which would later become the Alamo. During the Battle of the Alamo,
Wow.
San Diego's cannon line was actually up inside that neighborhood.
जोइ
Presently, there's a lot of galleries, artisan shops.
Look at
It's
this
really
one.
very pretty to go there and walk around. Here we're getting ready to go with you, Artisan River Theater. This was completed in 1941. It's named after Mr. Edwin Arneson, the director of the WPA, who secured funding for this project. It's an 800-person
Bye.
venue. You can see all the seating on the left here, the stage on the right. Behind the stage, those 5 bells are meant to be representative of the 5 missions we have here in San Antonio.
ऊ त्यहाँ हेर सानो बेबी हाउस हो
Now,
ऋषि
some of y'all might recognize this
द्याट्स द
stage
बेबी हाउस ऋषि
from the 2000 movie Miss Congeniality, starring Miss Sandra Bullock. This is where Sandra filmed her swimsuit competition scene at.
लुक द
Right there,
ब्रिज
y'all
हेर
remember the boat that went by in that
लुक
scene?
ब्रिज हेर
Y'all remember the captain driving that boat? I was 7 when that movie came out. It wasn't me. Makes me feel better. I'm in my 30s now. All right, here on the right side of the boat, the statue of those longhorn getting driven up out of the river there. That is the entrance to the Briscoe Western Art Museum.
त्यहाँ लङ हर्न
Now, this building, opened up in
Longhorn.
1930, is the main branch of the San Antonio Public Library.
ऊ त्यहाँ हेर
This was our library from 1930 to
बुल हेर बुल
1968.
लङ हर्न हो
In 68, they moved on down the river. And the Hertzberg
Long on.
Circus Museum moved in. That museum was with us until 2001 when they moved that collection on up to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's that vacant for a little bit. In 2013, we got the Briscoe. Now, it's named after late Texas Governor Dolph Briscoe and his wife Janie. They got some pretty cool stuff. They got a fully restored stagecoach, Pancho Villa's last known saddle, and Santa Anna's ceremonial sword. All right, we're getting ready to go on the lowest bridge on the Riverwalk here. I really gotta ask y'all to not reach up and touch this one. She's old, she's mean, she's nasty, she's covered in tetanus. I'm not 100% sure what tetanus is, but it's on this bridge. I'm gonna weave us under it here.
यसको तल जान्छ हेर
I only hit a couple people on the last tour, so let's hope I learned something between
यो
now
तल
and
गयो है
now.
गयो
This bridge is actually pretty cool. It was created, built in 1890 in Berlin, Connecticut.
कति धेरै जान्छ
There's only 10 like it, 5 of them in San Antonio and 3 of them on our Riverwalk. This bridge right here has no welds. It's held together entirely with bolts and rivets, spider wheels. Here on the right, this little island, you'll see a little statue there. That's called Father Mastinet's Table. That's to commemorate the first mass held on the banks of the San Antonio River, June 13th, 1691. It sits on what we call Marriage Island. Here goes. It's heart-shaped, made out of the roots of that cypress tree that's on it. They estimate around 300 ceremonies a year happen on that island. If you get married there, it's meant to bring good luck to your union. If you do get married there and it doesn't work out, don't worry, I'm going to show you over where the courthouse is here. Here we're crossing under the Navarro Street Bridge. This covers what used to be called Old Mill Crossing. Now in the 1800s, this was the lowest point in the river in this area. The ground underneath was extremely hard packed. It made it easy to cross, so people would come down here and wash their buggies and water their horses, or whatever else they did in the 1800s.
entran gratis.
In the 1890s, it was a popular crossing spot with Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders.
Los esperamos este viernes 23 de mayo.
Look.
Sorry, they gave me the creaky boat
Además, el
today.
sábado estamos de aniversario. Por primera vez desde Zaponamá.
Right here on the right is the Westin Hotel.
La descarga colombiana.
Holds absolutely no historical significance whatsoever.
कुन कलर छ कुन चाहिँ कलर
Not to leave y'all empty-handed. Inside of it, they got a bunch of fixtures and furnishings from a 17th century European castle. That's pretty neat.
Look at the tower, look.
Now, for my favorite building on the Riverwalk, way up high to the left, y'all see that tall building, almost 400 feet tall with the gargoyles. Let's see, y'all seen Ghostbusters, right? This ain't that one. That was in New York, but it looks like it.
I like this.
Good way of coming. Oh, let me tell you
Oh,
about
no,
it.
यो त डार्क यो पानी एकदम
This
डिप
is
छ
a
यो
Tower
त.
Life building. It opened up in
very deep
1929 as the Smith Young Tower.
Pretty deep water.
Smith and Young spent $3 million building this, and they were very superstitious. That's pretty evident in the gargoyles way up top of the building. Right above the first floor here, you'll see all these ugly faces, kind of like my manager back at the top. Those are called grotesques. And above each grotesque is a bowl of garlic. So they were trying to ward off bad business, evil spirits, and vampires, apparently. I can't tell you how the vampire thing worked out, but I can tell you about the rest of it. It didn't work out very well. We all know what happened in 1929. The stock market crash led us into the Great Depression. Well, they lost this building. They sold it for what they owed in taxes. This $3 million building sold at a 90% loss for $300,000. Now, when it first opened, the first 6 floors were a Sears and Roebuck. And in 1941, Mr. Dwight Eisenhower had an office in that building. The United States and Mexico. And on river level, down here with us, their basement is one of 2 marinas here on the Riverwalk that we keep our boats. Now, in front of us, up on street level, that red building, that's the Bexar County Courthouse. It was completed in 1897. It's the largest and most continuously used courthouse in the state of Texas. It's got a beautiful green roof, and it gets its red color from that sandstone it's made out of. Now, I want you to look behind me, back of that Tower Life building. You see how the bottom, the architect did that on purpose. But they say if you get real still and listen to it, you can trick your mind into hearing a ship horn. That stops like those ago. Just gotta get real.
Ooh, hungry.
We're moving through floodgate 4 here, rises up from the bottom, cuts off this take y'all over there, but my supervisors have no sense of adventure. Now, right in front of the boat, up on street level, you'll see Lovelock Bridge there, so people come, put their initials on a padlock with their pebble. That's about 25 feet above where we're sitting right now. We lost 51 lives that we know of. It cost millions of dollars in damage. So for the next 3 years, the city of San Antonio and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers came through and did some studying and figuring. They found that if they straightened out the bend in the river here and isolated the horseshoe bend, they could prevent that flooding from happening again. Well, when they proposed the plans, 2 women, Emily Edwards and Rita Maverick Green, opposed the idea. That's because it would cause the demolition of the 1859 market house that stood where the flood channel was going to go. Now, obviously, they lost that battle because both flood channels, but out of it, we got the San Antonio Conservation Society that they started. A lot of stuff downtown that we have. Including on the right here is the Drury Plaza Hotel. Opened up in 1929 as the Alamo National Bank. Now they've kept the inside almost identical to what it was when it first opened. Very beautiful, done in Art Deco style. In 2007, Drury built us a sidewalk connecting both ends of our horseshoe bend and this footbridge we just floated under. That footbridge connects us to our main plaza over here, where you can't really see because they haven't trimmed the trees, but you would see the San Fernando Cathedral area. Inside of it, they have the ashes of the defenders.
Are you having fun?
Now, in front of the boat to the right a little bit, that real big tree with the lights mounted to it. That is the tallest and oldest tree on the Riverwalk. We call it our Ben Milam tree. It is a twin trunk bald cypress. She stands 90 feet tall, around 300 years old.
Look.
We call this our Ben Milam tree because in 1835, the year before the Battle of the Alamo, Mr. Ben Milam came here from Mexico, having escaped capture there just a couple months previously. He was across the river here doing some fighting when a sniper sitting up in that tree caught him in the head with a rifle ball and killed him instantly. Now I showed y'all floodgate 4. I pointed out floodgate 5. This is floodgate 3. It's going to be right above your head. Several tons of concrete and steel. Drops down like a guillotine. In the 20s, it was a silent black and white movie theater for a while. Now, as silent black and white movies kind of lost their popularity.
Hi गरिदियो
The building
Bye,
was
Gardu.
used by the 70s. It was pretty run down.
बाई गरिदियो
Revamped a
Gardu.
little bit, turned it into a concert venue like it is today. You can see up on the second floor the big old stone
Bye, Gardu.
Aztec goddess head staring at us.
ओके अर्को ब्रिज आयो
There's a 2-ton chandelier on the
Tower,
now, but
London
in
Bridge is there.
1901, it
Look at
opened
that,
up
London
with the
Bridge.
Alfred Saddle and Co., largest saddle maker in the world.
Big Ben.
They make that.
Oh, Big Ben.
The Rough Riders. They still got a lot of that tech on display in the lobby. It's very nice. That was a big white building we've been
Hi,
passing
Gardu.
forever here on Violet. This is the Omni La Mansion Hotel. This opened up in 1853 as the St. Mary's School for Boys. Originally, it was only the first 2 floors. They only had about 100 students in it. It kept growing and growing until it turned into St. Mary's Law
Yo,
School
school
and
brother.
St. Mary's University.
कस्तो घर बिल्डिङ होइन यो टावर होइन सिधा होइन है
Where the university still stands today. In 1966, a former student came back and bought it and turned it into a hotel.
यहाँ नि यो हो यो घर
Alright guys, y'all see as we cross under this bridge on the left hand side, you'll see where Bubba Gump Shrimp sign is right there. There's someone in front of it right now. Anyway, you'll see where Bubba Gump Shrimp is right there on the left of the boat.
Look
Right
अर्को
when we
ब्रिज आयो
cross
कति
under
धेरै
this
ब्रिज है
bridge, I want y'all to look up high on top of Bubba Gump. Way up high. You're going to see an optical illusion, a freestanding wall, 2D
त्यो
building.
गाडीको माथि गाडी हिँडेको नि यहाँ गाडी हिँडेको
You ready? Way up high to the left.
Look, कत्रो बिल्डिङहरू
Oh, Bubba Gump, look at that.
look
Isn't that wild?
वा कत्रो टावर हेर त्यहाँ कत्रो टावर हेर बिल्डिङ आमा
So that is the next hospital that opened up in 1930. It's triangle shaped. We're staring at the skinny end of it. That's the secret there. When this hospital opened in 1930, it was a really big deal. It was one of the first full-service hospitals in the nation, and it was one of the first hospitals to have air conditioning, which after spending a little bit of time in San Antonio heat, you get it, it's a pretty big deal. This hospital was the birthplace of Colonel Oliver North, Miss Carol Burnett, and Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and Furious movies. Now that closed in 2019 at the start of COVID, but they are renovating it, turning it into apartments, so if you've ever wanted to live in a 100-year-old hospital, there you go. I will not be visiting you.
100 years old hospital
Right here in front of the boat, this hotel, this white hotel, that's a Hyatt Regency. I just got something to
Hyatt
tell y'all about it.
Regency.
If y'all stay in that hotel and you stay on this side and you can see the river at night, the river can see you too. Make sure you close your curtains. It's just kind of wild up there. When they built the Hyatt Regency in 1981, they had to do shadow testing on it, meaning they had to see where the shadow was going to be cast when the sun set. That's because of how close it is to the Alamo. The Alamo is a National War Monument, and it is against federal law for a structure to cast a shadow on it in the setting sun. So they can only go 18 stories high, but they went wider. They built this beautiful lobby that you can kind of see behind that plywood there. It is open to the public, that lobby. They have shops in there. You can go inside. They got a lot of cool water features that are meant to be reminiscent of the waterways that the Spaniards built when they first settled the area in the 1700s. If you go in there and you take the hotel or the elevator, that's what I'm looking for. Up to street level, go outside, take a right, you'll be staring out on the plaza.
जान्छ है
Tormenta logra porque metes toda la cerveza y sigue así igual por el cierre, pero si se quita pues ahí te quedas. Si se quita pues ahí.
Alright, as we come out from under the bridge, on the right side you'll see the casino club
Si se
building.
quita pues le cierras, pero mete toda la
This
cerveza.
opened up in 1927. It's never been a casino, we don't do that here. The
No, no,
closest
no.
thing we got to that
Garu.
is bingo.
टाइप्सहरु
Two
कति लाइफ
society groups came together. They were philanthropic
Guide
business
book.
society groups, whatever
Guide
those fellows do. They named it that. Now, the first 2 floors are Saltgrass Steakhouse. Everything on top are apartments. I'm told it's about $1,700 a month for 850 square feet. There's a 5-year waiting list to get in. So when you do get in, you get to live across the road from that little CVS. Pretty neat. They don't have a pharmacy though. If y'all are familiar with the book Roots, author Alex Haley actually resided in that building for a time.
सरी भन चाहिँ
Sorry? No. Joy, no, please.
Alright, so the burning question, when did we build the
No,
Thames
no,
Riverwalk?
no.
Well, in
Joy.
1929, Mr.
No.
Robert Hugman, 27
Hi,
years
good.
old, a
Hi,
recent
good.
grad from UT
Hi,
Austin, came
good.
on down.
हाई फाइभ
He proposed plans for like a Venice in San Antonio. Even down to the footbridges how they're electric now. Anyway, they went for it. They liked the idea, but the Great Depression slowed us down, so we didn't get a Riverwalk until 1941. So we got it at a cost of $430,000. Originally, it was only about 2 miles of sidewalk, everything we're seeing today.
तर मान्छे खान्छ बसेर खान्छ रहेछ रेस्टुरेन्टमा
14 miles
डग पनि छ अरे त्यहाँ है ए
When
बा
it first opened, nobody wanted to put their
रिभरको
business
छेउमा
down
बसेर
here,
खाने अरे
because
यहाँ
that's
रेस्टुरेन्ट
what I told you all about 20
सबै
years
रेस्टुरेन्ट
earlier.
है
So,
Look at this, right? Dog here,
Mr.
hey, ba?
Husband's office down here on River Level.
With the dog.
You can see that here on the right behind his Texas flag umbrella. You can see his name on that balcony there, R.H.H. Hugman Architect. There's a little bust of him there, up on the stairs. I'm very Hugman and orange, Mr. Hugman. Now he was down here for a little bit before he convinced anyone else to join him, but eventually he did. In 1946, Casa Rio opened its doors on the River Level. They're up here on the right behind you, so the little rooms. They're still owned by the same family that was opened up in 1946. So what's cool about this one is where it's built. This restaurant is actually built on a land grant given by the King of Spain in 1777. There was an estate built on that land grant, and when they built this restaurant, they incorporated pieces of that estate into this restaurant. So if you go eat in there, or just go and use the restroom, you walk towards the back doors where the restrooms are. You see all the heavy rock walls, big old fireplace,
All over the
and heavy
place,
cedar
right?
doors. Those are all from that estate. And they make pretty new salsa.
Not that.
Alright, now I need locals on my boat. Anyone from San Antonio? Alright, y'all be quiet. Let me know if I'm lying, Neil.
यो अर्को बोट आएको
How many of y'all think this is a man-made river?
Wow, look at this. Over here.
I can't tell if they're taking pictures or anything. How many
You take that
man-made?
picture.
This looks man-made. How many of y'all think it's a natural river? What about both? Maybe? Alright, well both wins it. You don't actually win anything. You just
Look at it,
get
rainbow
what
color,
you're
look.
right. Now, our flood channel back there was man-made, of course, and what we're turning into is man-made. Everything else is natural river. They dug this for a 1968 World's Fair that was hosted here in San Antonio. Now, everything we've been on outside of this has a mud or a dirt bottom. This has a concrete bottom here. It's about 5 feet deep. This is, one of the deepest parts of the river you'll ever see today. This river actually starts about 6 miles north of us. It comes out of the Edwards Aquifer. That aquifer is a giant underground limestone lake. It's about 180 miles long, 30 miles wide. They found most of the bottom. There's parts they haven't gotten down to. They've gotten down to 700 feet.
I want to go like this.
I think Steve-O jumped off the one over by River Center.
Oh no, Choco. Kira
Now-
puro na ito.
This river, after it leaves us, it meets up with the Guadalupe, flows south, dumps out in the San Antonio Bay down the Gulf. This river actually travels for a total of 237 miles. So, this is spring water. Just don't drink it. Alright, up in front of the boat, you may not be able to see it real clearly, but in front of the boat, way up high, you'll see that Marriott Hotel right there. Now, in that spot, in 1906, the Fairmont Hotel was built. Now, the Fairmont was there through the early 1980s, but by that point, it was abandoned, run down.
Oh, waterfall.
But they couldn't tear it down because it was a historic building.
Wow.
So they moved it. Actually. Now, this wasn't that size, but it wasn't the tiniest building. It still weighs 1,600 tons. It's just north of 3 million pounds. They jacked this building up, dug out underneath it, and put it on $36. It's about 17 minutes long. But it's so interesting, it'll feel like 16. If you look up Fairmont Hotel New San Antonio, I've watched it, it really is worth it. Alright, now right in front of the boat here, this is our newest edition of the Riverwalk. I'm going to stop this for a second. Boats don't have brakes, so I gotta throw it in reverse. It's a little easy sometimes. Alright, so right in front of the boat on that little island, that's Stargazer. We got Stargazer in 2022. She was created by Mexican artist Pedro
The boat or
Reyes.
boat?
Pedro made over 80 pieces of Mexican
boat on the
volcanic
roof.
rock.
There was
Except for all the stars she's looking through, that's marble. You might just see a little pinhole she's staring through. Pedro never told us what she's actually looking for through that star, what she's gazing at. It's left up to our interpretation. Some people say she's looking off into the stars, some people say she's looking into the past, some people say she's looking into the future when the Cowboys make it back to the Super Bowl. Point being, left up to our interpretation. If they ever do make it back to the Super Bowl, about 750 feet tall, it was the tallest structure in the United States for a time until they built the Stratosphere in Vegas. Now, up top they have 9 feet tall, made out of 400,000 pieces of stone and tile from all across Mexico. It was created by artist Ronald Gorman. It just kind of shows accomplishments and important parts of cultures from both nations coming together into one big old melting pot, which really is what San Antonio is.
Hello. Look.
I really thought we were going to play both. Alright, so we're going to come in here and turn around the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. I'm going to tell you more about that mural. Mosaic. That's what it is. Like I said, this is the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. Mr. Henry B. Gonzalez was the first Mexican American to serve in the United States House of Representatives. He served from 1961 to 1999, and when he vacated that seat, his son filled it for another 16 years. Normally we go around that little island and turn around, but they got it closed. I have no idea why. They told me construction. I haven't come up with a fun conspiracy to share with y'all yet. Oh yeah, I can do it.
The morning. Already on.
Yeah. Where are we now?
San Antonio.
No, it's in the Waco. Hi, good. Hello. Hola. Look, so beautiful. It's so beautiful, right? तेरो ममा पुरा खाँदैछ ल हेर पुरा दिँदैछ के खाँदै म यहाँ हाई हामी कहाँ आइपुग्यो वेयर आर वी नाउ ब्रान्च तिमी के खाइरहेछौ है व्हाट आर यु इटिङ एगी खाँदैछ एगी
Daddy, I hope that's not a shark.
नो नो इट्स नट अ साग ए बा तिमी के खाँदैछौ कत्रो प्यानकेक आमामा भुइँमा खसाल्दै जो छिवान त जो इट्स डेन्जर